Hey folks, this video is part of a series on GitHub Copilot feature highlights. To find the other videos, go to github-copilot.zebia.ms.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matt. I'm one of the consultants at Zebia Microsoft Services. And today I want to talk about a cool feature coming soon to GitHub Copilot. It's available in the Visual Studio Code Insiders edition. It's a preview feature, and it's something that is really cool to me and something that I've had a lot of people ask about. So let's dive into this. The way that I found out about this is about a month ago. I saw this post on LinkedIn, and it's bringing your own key/model in VS Code Insiders. And that caught my attention because that's something that I've been wondering about. If the underlying models for GitHub Copilot can be changed out, can you bring your own? And then this little detail caught my attention a lot. Running Ollama models locally. I run Ollama models locally on my machine, so immediately I was pretty intrigued by this and decided to try it out. And I've been running this for about a month now. I've been jumping between the models provided by Copilot as well as my Ollama models. There's advantages and disadvantages of both, but I want to bring this to you guys because it's a really cool feature. So let's dive in. On my screen, I have a very deliberately insecure Python web server. There's a lot of SQL injection. There's some remote code injection. There's some log injection stuff in here, quite a lot. And that's deliberate. This is actually a file that I use when I'm showing off GitHub Advanced Security. So I want to see how these models handle this file. Because I know that this is deliberately insecure, I'm just going to ask Copilot to describe the vulnerabilities. And for right now, I'm going to use GPT-4o, the base model for Copilot. And let's see what it comes back with. As we can see, immediately, it's like, there's a lot in here. You should probably clean this up. It's finding SQL injection, log injection, command injection. There's some path traversal in here, some cross-site scripting, more command injection. There's a lot of stuff in this file. So good job, Copilot. You found it. So now I'm going to ask it to fix the vulnerabilities. And what Copilot's going to do is, well, try to fix them. Now, GPT-4o is not a reasoning model. It is the Omni model of GPT-4. So it's not going to do a lot of the reasoning, but this should be enough to give it enough context to know what I'm asking it to do here. So there's some changes in here: parameterized queries, sanitized inputs, avoiding shell equals true. Yes, that is a definite thing. Escaping user inputs and templates. Great. These are all things that I would expect in the response. And it gave me a nice summary. Awesome. But I mentioned that right now, I'm kind of locked into using the models that Copilot provides. Sort of. So you'll notice that I have this manage models link down here. And what I'm going to do is hook Copilot up to my local Ollama instance where I have a couple of extra models running. I've got DeepSeek, Phi4, and CodeStrel. So if I click on manage models, I'm prompted to select a provider. And there's some really cool ones in here. Grok, which is the Twitter/X, Gemini, Azure, if you're using an Azure AI model, Anthropic. But I'm going to use Ollama. And I already have my Ollama URL configured. I'm just running the default. So there's nothing special there. It's just running on localhost with the default port. And it's already gone through and asking me what models do I want to register or deregister. And I'm just going to select them all, and I'm going to bounce between them a couple of times. And cool, I've registered the models. So I'm going to run that same experiment again. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select one of the other models. And let's go ahead and run DeepSeek, because that seems to be pretty popular. And I'm just going to ask it to describe the vulnerabilities in the script. And now, locally, I'm going to process the request. And the first thing you'll notice is DeepSeek is a reasoning model, so you're going to get some of these thinking tags coming back, and you're going to get a lot of the justification of the thought process going into the model. It is a reasoning model. It is the thinker. So you can see here, there's a thinking tag opening and closing, and then it's actually giving me the response. It's finding the vulnerabilities, and it's actually already suggesting mitigations. And now what I can see here is I also have, because this is Copilot, the magical apply and editor buttons on all of these. So if I wanted to take these, I could actually take them and apply them in the editor. And it's asking, would I like a more detailed explanation or suggest additional security measures? This is awesome. One thing that this also means is I can now run GitHub Copilot offline. What I'm going to do, just to kind of show that this works, is I'm going to do this in one take. So I'm going to start a ping to Zebia, and you can see here I can reach zebia.com. Great. I'm going to come over here and turn off my internet. And you can see here I no longer can ping Zebia. And you'll see those numbers go sequentially. So now I'm going to repeat this experiment, and I'm just going to ask it to describe the vulnerabilities in this script. And I'm going to use 5.4 for this. 5.4 is an overthinker, is what I like to call it. So you're going to see it's going to take a pretty long time to think about its response. It's going to generate a whole lot of thought, and then it's going to generate the actual response. And since I'm doing this in one take, I'm going to let it think its way through this. So that's the end of its thought process right there. And now it is going to describe the vulnerabilities. So again, it found SQL injection, XSS, command injection, uncontrolled file access, additional command injection, insecure exception handling, internal logic via debug logging, lack of input validation, a lot of these problems. And I could also ask it to generate the fixes for these issues. And just to prove that I can't connect to the Copilot models, I'm going to switch back to GPT-4o, and I'm going to ask it to fix the vulnerabilities. And immediately, it knows that I'm not connected to the internet. But if I switch back to, say, 5.4 and ask it to fix the vulnerabilities, it's now going to be able to process it because everything is now running locally. The Copilot proxy is running locally, the agent is running locally, and the LLM, the reasoning model, is running locally. So this is really cool. This means that I could be offline and still be able to run GitHub Copilot and still be able to use it in a somewhat offline scenario, so long as I can validate my license is okay. What this also is proving is that all of the data and all of this processing is taking place on my laptop. And that's kind of the point. The data is no longer leaving my laptop, and I can use whatever model that I want. There's a lot of models available on Ollama that you can feel free to give it a try. But I just wanted to bring this to you guys because this is a really cool feature that is going to help a lot of people in the future with Copilot. And it's also just a really cool thing to show that you're now no longer bound to just using the models that GitHub provides. You can use DeepSeek, you can use 5.4, you can use Ollama, CodeGemma, whatever model that you want to utilize, and it leaves a lot of room for experimentation. So anyways, that's it, guys. Again, my name is Matt, one of the consultants here with Zebia Microsoft Services. We love Copilot. If you want any more information, please reach out to us. We would love to talk to you about enabling your organization to use Copilot in the future, as well as helping provide any trainings or guidance on using Copilot to the best of your and its abilities. So with that, thanks a lot and have a great day.
Visit github-copilot.zebia.ms for the other videos.